Nigeria News headline today. AFP investigation reveals the federal government allegedly paid millions in ransom to Boko Haram for the release of 230 abducted school children and staff. The report suggests these secret payments facilitated the freedom of the captives kidnapped last year. Governor Makinde of Oyo State has announced the clearance of a 25 billion naira backlog of gratuities for retired state and local government workers. The governor described the move as a major step in his administration's fiscal reforms to restore retiree confidence. Acting IGP Tunji Disu has officially assumed duty as the head of the Nigeria Police Force, with a pledge to continue internal reforms. He emphasized that anti-corruption and professional conduct will be the primary focus of his leadership. President Bola Tinubu has formally requested the 10th Senate to initiate a constitutional amendment for the establishment of state police. The presidency maintains that localizing security is the only way to address unique regional security challenges. Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State has announced the appointment of Dr. Dagogo S.A. Wakoma as SSG and Barrister Sonny Ewule as Chief of Staff. These strategic appointments follow a wave of resignations by former cabinet members amid the state's political crisis. PDP chieftain Emmanuel Ogidi is calling for an urgent probe into the alleged assassination attempt on Peter Obi and John Odiji Oyegun in Edo State. Ogidi warned that such harassment is a bad omen for the 2027 general elections. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa of Ondo State is reportedly in a cold war with federal lawmakers over 2027 return tickets. Sources claim the governor is lobbying the presidency to replace several reps members and senators in the next election cycle. Former Governor Nasir El-Rufai remains in custody following a protest by his supporters demanding his release. Security agencies are continuing investigations into undisclosed charges while his legal team pursues a bail application. Christopher Maikalangu of the APC has been declared the winner of the Abuja Municipal Area Council chairmanship election by INEC. The result was upheld despite formal protests and objections filed by opposition parties. Nigerian crude oil prices have surged past $70 per barrel, comfortably exceeding the 2026 federal budget benchmark. This price spike is expected to provide the government with additional revenue for major infrastructure projects. The Central Bank of Nigeria has slashed the monetary policy rate to 26.5% by 50 basis points to encourage investment. The move has been lauded by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce as a relief for businesses facing high borrowing costs. President Tinubu has extended the ban on the export of raw shea nuts until 2027 to promote domestic processing. The Nigeria First policy aims to ensure the country captures more value within the agricultural supply chain. The NDIC has announced it is managing nearly 500 assets from failed banks in a bid to recover debts. The corporation stated that proceeds from these assets will be used to pay out uninsured depositors. The federal government has inaugurated the board of the Nigerian Consumer Credit Corporation, Credicorp, after a successful 37 billion naira pilot year. The board is now tasked with expanding credit access to millions of working Nigerians. The FCPC has launched an investigation into Nigerian airlines following allegations of price manipulation. The probe was triggered by a sudden uniform hike in domestic airfares that regulators believe may violate fair competition laws. The NUPRC is set to close pre-qualification for the 2025 licensing round today, February 27th at 4:30 p.m. This deadline is the final opportunity for investors to apply for available oil blocks in the current bidding round. Finally, Lafarge Africa plc reported a milestone revenue of 1.1 trillion naira for the 2025 financial year, with profits rising by 170%. The company attributed this massive growth to high infrastructure demand and improved operational efficiency.